Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is episode, I want to say number 8, although I'm not really sure, of Coach Corner main K2. Today, I am joined by the Imperator,
Hello.
playing Dr. Josephine Hellsing, and also our lovely friend, Mr. McFunkster, who's playing the Demon Warlock, who I will only refer to as X because his name is ridiculous.
Canonically, it's Zhuzhou Chen, but
Yeah,
we won't go into that.
but I have problems with pronouncing that word, so the fact that I made that his name uh, is
The
not
fact
only
that you allowed
ironic
it.
but just depressing. So let's see. Last time we left off, our valiant heroes went on vacation, um, and had a bit of a kerfuffle. They encountered a kraken. They fought a were shark guy. Then they fought the god Atlas and this weird
No,
water
we didn't
spirit. Well, he was
fight.
there.
Got out.
But we
He was
fought the
there.
yeah, he was there. We fought the weird nymph naiad woman that broke him out of his permanent incarceration.
Yes.
Uh, His name was Elophis, by the way. I named her. So we
Hello.
killed her.
But she's dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's dead. Um,
Naming already dead characters, I see.
well, I mean, I named her before. You just never bothered to ask her name because you just wanted to kill her. So who's that?
Yeah.
Um,
Jack Bright took her over.
yeah. So there was no role play there because she was just Jack Bright after the first turn.
Yeah,
Um,
basically.
and then after that, y'all went back to the uh, mainland. Our level ups
Yes.
have been done. So some things are different. Primarily
Yeah.
Battlecock. He's got a big upgrade. He is dangerous now.
Battlecock basically got a. No, I wouldn't say a buff.
Oh, McLafferty is still Battlecock. I never changed that.
Oops. McClafferty is Battlecock.
Apparently, hold on, I can change that while I do the recap. So yeah, so we went on vacation to the cruise ship and stuff. Went totally wrong. There was a lot of partying. I'm pretty sure X ended up killing like half of the passengers in total. By the
Yeah.
time that
A
was
I
lot.
didn't
over,
kill anyone. I was, cutting out the weakness.
the weakest link.
In a party?
Yes.
Yes.
In my elite squad of party goers, I only take the most able.
They were like 80.
They
Excellent
shouldn't have taken the
controlling
challenge if they weren't up to the task. It's not my fault they weren't
Didn't they
prepared.
last like 3 days?
Oh God.
You had 80-year-olds, people's grandparents, partying for like 3 days straight.
Yeah, and like a bunch of them died.
Yeah, from exhaustion.
Hey man, don't
I
knock it till
have
you
no
try it.
regrets.
We had during stat was like 2. Others couldn't handle the heat. What can I say? It's their own
They
fault.
failed their death saving rolls.
Yeah, their mercy rolls came out as natural ones. I'm sorry.
Oh, oh,
um, and oh yeah, Kateo
whoa.
Bast. He's part of the team now.
Yeah,
He's a dude. So he's been decided that he's going to join the company as a permanent member of the team. Permanent being in air
yes.
quotes. So you know,
Some very interesting developments have been made.
indeed. Okay, so that's
Uh,
fixed. We
there
did
are
have
targets on
some.
all of our backs,
There are
except for
because
Kateo Bass.
yeah, because they don't know about him. So that's at the very end where we figured out that Miss Doctor Bright had been so kind as to unveil some information the Foundation had found on our lovely team of heroes. Um,
Mainly that they really want to kill Boston Brook.
yeah, yeah. Mainly, he really want to kill him because he knows too much. He used to work for them. And they also want to kill JVH because he's an anomaly. And they want to kill
Big.
Battlecock because he's an anomaly. Uh, and I don't really know about McLafferty or Kateo Vast. So we're kind of neutral.
I want to see the field report where some SCP MTF go to try and whatchamacallit, contain Battlecock. Battlecock just like destroys them.
And just like cut the guy in half with his beak in like one strike, and they're like, "Well, this is a
And
failed
then it's like
mission."
you hear the audio of like them panicking.
Yeah, it's like, "What is this thing? It's normal chicken. It's wearing a monk robe. What's what's this? It's custom tailored. Looks so nice. Louis Vuitton and just get murdered."
Indeed.
So yeah,
Doritos.
lovely. I haven't had breakfast yet.
Pulling a
Probably
U.
should. So today's mission starts off the very next day after we come back from our vacation, because of course the lovely Dr. Jason Van Helsing decided to call a meeting of the JPCU's board of directors and the foundation's O5 council, basically to call out the O5 council. So today's mission is going to work a bit different. The party's been split in half, with Hellsing and McLafferty staying at the headquarters while everybody else goes and does the actual mission. So the perspectives will be changing every once in a while. So keep that in mind. So I think we start with.
I'm in my office. I start out in my office.
You're in your office.
I'm gonna come over and go on to like one of those like desk phones,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that they have where you dial the extension and then it rings.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call one of the secretaries and ask them to have Boston Brick come into my office.
Yeah, okay, you do that, and 10 minutes later, Boston Brook walks through your office door. What does your office look like? Is it still in like the basement or whatever, or is it like in an upper
It's
floor?
not like the basement anymore. It's like my lab basically.
Okay.
It's like the room with my lab, and it's like very like white and clandestine. It's very bright inside, but it doesn't seem to be like all that bright because the white just
Yeah, it's just, like,
absorbs
reflecting everything.
It just absorbs all the light into the white in a way, like in the sense where it doesn't seem like it's bright in there, but it's like it feels like it's natural light, but it's not. I don't know. That was a really crackheaded description of it.
Yes.
But I'm sure you guys understand what I mean.
Yeah, ever been in like a really like pure white room? You know like
Yeah.
how like
Yeah.
like, you want to like blink and your eyes water because it's just like
It's
so,
very bright.
yeah. Something Boston Rock. He walks in. He's normal. He's got his sword and his hip and stuff. He's ready for work.
Boston Brick. Have a seat.
It's like, hello, doctor. What calls me to your office this fine morning? And he he takes a seat across from you.
Now, I have received some files. These files are some fairly damning evidence. They suggest that the SCP Foundation would be dead. Very dead.
Oh,
They have
yes.
orders to kill and dispose of the body in manners that I can only imagine be very unpleasant, to say the least. I have them on record as saying, toss the body into a vat of hydrochloric acid. Yes, they very much want you dead. Now, to prevent this, I have some, and these plans are going to require undivided cooperation. And I think I'm gonna wave a hand, and the room becomes sealed off. So like, there is no way in or out. No audio escapes this room. All electronics off.
The room becomes a little bit darker as the lights go off, but it doesn't make a difference because it's still really white,
So it's still bright, but it's not like
blinding.
as bright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a flashbang.
Now,
Flashbang
Boston.
went off and just the windows.
I have a
lock
plan. I'm gonna stand up and lean on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
This plan would be, we are going to, of course, fool the SCP Foundation into thinking that you are under the influence of Class A amnestics, and upon your hiring, wiped your memory.
All right. I suppose that could work, although it won't be easy.
Now, I know your hatred for the O5 Council.
Yes, they are the only reason why I'm even here.
But when they arrive, you are to act like you do not know who they are.
I can certainly try, sir.
Just a basic, I'm sorry, I don't think I know you. Have we met before? That will suffice upon their entry into the facility.
I believe I can do that. Sure.
Now, as for the other business that I brought you in for,
Mm-hmm.
Boston,
Yes.
you know I care about you, right?
Well, I'm aware that you care for my usefulness of cooperation, yes.
I care for you as a friend. And I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder.
He just kind of like, he looks, like, not confused, but sort of like, I wonder what, like, he gives it a very, like, quizzical stare. He's, like, trying to figure out, like, what your angle is, essentially.
So as I put my hand on his shoulder, it's like a normal chair, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like a,
Okay.
one of the weird, like, bright, pure white, like, postmodernist chairs.
Okay. So there's arms on this chair, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good. So as I put my hand on his shoulder, the metal latches like fold out from the chair because I can bend the reality of this room to what I want it to be. And if I can will it, it can be a thing. Haha. The metal clasps are gonna come around his wrists
Mm-hmm.
and around his ankles.
Mm-hmm.
Boston Brook, I want to see nothing but the best for you. And I'm gonna pull a syringe out of my pocket.
Like, this is very, very weird, sir, and I'm not going to, I want dinner first, but,
Boston
know.
Brook, I do this to make sure that you're the best you can be on this mission. And I'm gonna inject him in the arm. Now I know you're wondering, what did Jason Van Helsing just inject? Well, my friend, that would be an anti-alcohol serum. I am totally him here.
Okay.
This, upon drinking alcohol, will make it taste extremely disgusting. I've tested it on myself. It works wonders. I've ran multiple tests on basic, legally obtained, and perfectly willing test subject. And they've all come back to me with resounding success. Now, Boston Brook, I do this because it could help. And maybe if you find some dependence without alcohol, it might help. You might regain your knowledge. Or not regain it, but much more regain the ability to use the full capacity of your knowledge. It could help with resounding success. Are you willing to give it a shot?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no problems with alcohol, and I am just as tip-top shape as I was 30 years ago.
Boston Brook,
Yes,
you aren't the same man you were when you joined. Let's be honest here.
I am the prime of my life.
Boston Brook, you have a problem. That problem is alcohol. I can't have you on the team drunken all the time.
Only on vacations. Okay, I know I have the tendency to
Boston Brook,
overindulge in
that's not
vices.
my point. In a field where I need everybody to be on their top game, I need you to be on that same top game. We need to be on top of this. Now with the SCP Foundation breathing down our backs, it makes the situation even more so. So having you at your top, well, that's where I need you. Having you drink on the job, even if it is minor increments and from a flask and here and there, and it is sophisticated drinks. I can't have it. We need to think about protocol before all else. Protocol states that everybody must be at their top right now. I'm meeting with the O5 Council today. They should be here in about 30 minutes. I'll be in for your briefing. And other than that, I trust that you will go through and follow through with this. Because I believe in you, Boston Brook. I consider you a good friend. I haven't had many throughout my life.
Well, I'm honored that you've taken that consideration, but I assure you, my lovely staff back at my estate takes very, very good care of me.
Boston Brook,
Yes.
they watched you drown your sorrows.
Only that one time.
I know what you've been through.
Well, yes.
It's no way to handle it. You have people here to talk.
Yes, but the, I'm sorry to say it, and I don't mean to slander any of our well-classified and educated employees at the lovely Paralectainment Unit. However, I will say that the shrinks here aren't exactly the most mundane. Primarily, McLafferty can take her own soul from her body and put it into her arm. And the other shrink is Battlecock. Now, he's actually pretty good at his job. However, it's a little chicken.
But still.
He is very relaxing,
can't-
though. I want to say that. He's very
Yes,
therapeutic.
I'm aware. But, nonetheless, I need you at your best. And with a flask of alcohol in your hand, I'm afraid I can't trust you at your best. With this test, we will move forward with this and see how this goes. And if you perform well enough on this mission, and you are able to regain a majority of the knowledge that you lost, I've seen it happening, Boston Brook. You're more useful to me sober and well than you are drunk. Because the possibility of you gaining anything about your past, about the knowledge that you hold, your valuable tactics and experiences, that is invaluable. You may regain some abilities that you might not have known about until they were lost. You might regain the exceptional ability to rituals and assist in them, and who knows what else. There's room to grow, Boston. Don't be afraid of the change. And with that, I must get ready for this meeting. So, I will let you get to the briefing. Be ready and down in a minute.
Well, thank you very much for your concern, Dr. Hellsing. Good luck with your meeting. I hope everything goes well.
Thank you very much, and you as well on this mission. I will be there for the briefing, but afterwards I must bid you and the team adieu.
Of course. And he, gets up from his chair. He tips his lovely wide-brimmed fedora, and he walks out into the hallway. And I think we do a short little time skip to be a half an hour later. So do we want the mission briefing to happen and then the conference briefing to happen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In that case, the camera, the view, fades back in from black into the lovely GPCU conference room that we are all very familiar with at this point. Bosbrook is sitting at the table. He's kind of like tapping his fingernails on the metal tabletop. Battlecock's walking on the table, enjoying life as usual. X is probably also there, not restrained this time, unlike previous where he was like tied to a wheelchair or a gurney or whatever, and now he is allowed to walk freely. McLafferty is, as per usual, at the head of the table, and then I think when Hellsing walks in the door, the briefing begins. So
apologies for my tardiness.
It's like, no, of course, you've got a lot going on today, Dr. Hellsing, so I think we all understand. But anyway, to the task in hand. But first, I will say that you'll all be pleased to know that thanks to the reports and filings handed in by all of you, Mr. Teobast has been signed on to the company payroll as a permanent member of the JPCU as an investigator, and he will be joining us.
Are we going to do like the snaps thing?
Yeah. So we all snap, and then he like walks in the door, and he's probably like beaming happy. He probably looks like he just won the lottery, considering he has been alone for the past like 1,000 or so years, trapped in this.
So does he do
realm.
like the cane drop on the ground and it like flies into the air and then he catches it?
Yeah, he just like, and he's like, he's like, it's good to be here, everybody. Good to be here.
Good to see it. Good to see it. Good to be here.
Yeah, I think he's wearing like a different suit this time. No top hat. His hair is combed, like slicked back. He's wearing like the GPCU like black suit. The red tie. Got like the name tag on his chest and stuff. Looks very official.
Name tag.
Yeah, like
Jimmy wears a name tag because he's a scientist.
Yeah, he has like the scan ID to get through the doors
Badge.
and stuff. Yeah.
So he's wearing a badge, basically.
Yeah, the ID badge. And he walks in, he takes his seat next to Bossenbrook, probably, and he's just like, yeah, it's good to be communicating with people for the first time in like 1,000 years. So good fun.
Yeah.
And then after the cheering dies down, McLafferty explains that today's mission is a bit different than the previous ones. They wanted to ease us back into the swing of things after our tumultuous vacation. Yeah.
I get it.
So today's mission is to investigate a crime scene in Baton Rouge, which is only a couple hours, not even drive from the HQ here, to investigate a magical crime scene down in the city. There's been a triple murder happened in an alleyway, and the local authorities discovered that it was, of course, magic related, and decided to involve the lovely GPCU in the investigation. So, she gives you like the address for the location and says that the car is waiting down in the garage, the first floor, for the investigators' arrival.
Very well. Well, team, I wish you the best of luck. Let's go. Now, that being said, I've been to this location before. I've frequented it in my free time, and you will all need one of these. And I hold up the coin.
Okay, so Hellsing holds up a gold coin, probably the size of like a gold like dollar coin, maybe maybe a bit bigger.
Commemorative.
Yeah, and it's a relatively thick coin for a piece of money, and it has a big tree engraved as like the both faces, and it's just like
Is it Yggdrasil?
No, you would know that it is a rowan tree, which
Oh yeah,
is very important to like fey magic and like fairies and gnomes and
So I'm going to reach into my inside pocket on my black lab coat and just walk around and place one in front of everybody.
And so you pass the coin around. Yeah, if you want to make any checks or see anything about it, feel free to do so.
Yeah, X if you wanna check out the coin.
I guess I will roll intelligence. I'll equip a little bit like, getting paid before the job even starts.
No. This isn't a form of payment. This is a form of passage. This coin
rolled
will
a
allow you entry.
5.
5? That should be a pass.
Intelligence
Here.
of
Yeah, he's a pretty smart boy, I think.
pretty smart dude.
I think int of 7.
Yeah, so you pass.
That's a pass.
So, so you the coin gets passed around, and you look at it, and you identify the tree as being it's a rowan tree, as in like this is a sacred
Yeah, it's a
item.
rowan tree.
Yeah, it's a sacred item for fairy creatures, like elves and stuff. And on a whim, you decide to like detect magic on it, essentially. So your senses kind of hone in a little bit more, and you see that the coin it does glitter with pixie dust, essentially.
Now,
Yeah.
upon entry into the speakeasy, this is a speakeasy. You are not to accept anything from Fae. These Fae can be dangerous, although inviting. Keep your wits sharp, and your mind sharper. If anyone challenges you to a game of wits, let's just say, accept and try not to beat them into the ground. Fae are of a fragile constitution. So let's not have any bloodbaths today.
And Lafferty, after you say that, she's like, yes, Baton Rouge is infamous for its fairy creature minority, everything from elves to pixies to leprechauns and gnomes. So do be careful about with whom you speak and how you speak to these people. They are infamous for their very, very short fuses and their love of unspoken rules and traditions that if you break might result in getting killed, like we presume probably happened to these three unfortunate individuals.
Indeed. I've prepared a little bit of a pamphlet, so to speak. On
The
anyone who does not know of the Fae.
the Baton Rouge the
Baton Rouge Guide to Fae.
yeah It's like a traveling pamphlet for fairy creatures. It's probably a
They,
like
I'm gonna
a pretty thick pamphlet with all the different unspoken rules of like the weird culture that's developed.
I'm gonna give one to X, and I'm gonna give one to McLafferty and Kateobast. I know Boston Brook doesn't need to know this. I know he knows what's up.
Yeah, Boston Brook is well acquainted with fairy
The
creatures.
Fae.
His sword was made by them. Well,
Yes.
made by them in a weird sort of way. It's cold iron, so fairy creatures hate Boston Brook because he carries a cold iron sword. So it's going to be very interesting. Um, so yeah, so you hand out the pamphlets. Everybody starts flipping through them and stuff, going over, trying to like memorize and remember these many intricate rules and complex cultural taboos and stuff about these weird fairy creatures that have decided to, for whatever reason, have decided to inhabit Baton Rouge over anywhere else. Like New Orleans is very big into like voodoo and like demon worship, and Baton Rouge is apparently big into Fae. So fun times. So with that, the briefing ends, and Dr. Hellsing bids his farewells, and him and McLafferty walk out of the conference room as Boston Brook, Battlecock, Teo Bast, and X are discussing the various rules and regulations related to these fairy creatures. The camera follows McLafferty and Helsing as they walk down the hallway into an elevator. They, get in an elevator. McLafferty, taps the button for the lobby. And Helsing, how does one get to the sub basements of the headquarters?
There's a keyhole or a spare key slot behind a panel that I slide open, and I take a key out of my pocket and turn the key, and an extra button pops out of his tiny panel.
So I think as you put the secret key in the hole. I think how elevators have like the camera in the top corner or whatever.
It shuts off.
Yeah, the blinking light turns off, and you turn the key, and the other extra little fun little probably like a glowing red button pops out of a different panel, and you
It
tap
reads
that.
it reads -1.
Yeah, it reads -1, and you hit that, and the elevator descends, and the front lobby opens up first, and McLafferty bids you good luck, and steps out.
Oh, and McLafferty.
He's like, "Yes, Dr. Helsing."
Do keep an eye on Boston Brook. We need him at his best today.
Yes, I will send some agents to watch our companions. And
Thank
she
you.
walks off down the hallway, and then the elevator doors close back up. But I think when the doors close back up this time, the doors are different. They're a lot thicker. They're probably not like the shiny, fancy schmancy corporate office doors. Probably like blast doors. So they're bright titanium with the caution yellow and black paint on the edges and stuff. Much thicker, heavier door.
So
and
I'm
the
gonna
elevator-
have
yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna have all the files under my arm.
Hmm.
I'm gonna like straighten up my tie and everything, and fix my hair, and the reflection. Uh, I'm going to take out a small the cigarette books.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm gonna take out one of those, and it looks to be like from the 1920s. And I'm gonna take out a very, very old looking cigarette, put it in my mouth, take out my lighter, flip it open, and light it.
Yeah. So you light up
Because
probably
I
like
don't do this often. There only seems to be one missing from the book as I open it, and
important.
I put it back in my back pocket.
Cool.
Which means I only really do this during very
Important
specific
matters.
scenarios.
Yeah. So the elevator descends and descends, and it probably takes like over a minute for this elevator to reach this super super deep sub basement level. And the elevator doors open, and I think the camera kind of like detaches from Hellsing as he walks down this long hallway. And the camera like phases through the floor, and we see like the super thick metal plating, all the air duct electrical wires, the super hyper packed like stonework and dirt in between the levels. And we go
As I
down.
walk,
Yeah, and we go
as I
down and
walk, the
down and
lights turn
down.
on.
Yeah, the lights they flick on as you walk in underneath them. And eventually, when the camera passes through the ceiling of a conference room, the door opens and Helsing strolls in, backlit by the lights outside. And this room is set up very, very particularly. There's a long conference table with several, probably close to like a dozen chairs on either side, and only one half of the room is lit.
Okay.
And the lights are very narrow cones that only light up like an individual chair. So the rest of the room is pretty much pitch black. The other
I'm
half of the
assuming this
room
is
is pitch. Yeah.
the JPCU High Council.
Yeah. So in the chairs with the lights on them are the board of directors for the JPCU, and on the other side of the table, you can because you're you have heightened senses and stuff like that. You can see
Yes.
like the movements in the dark of the shadowy forms of the O5 Council, but I can't make out any like facial features or anything really.
Ladies, gentlemen, I apologize for my tardiness, but some business had to be attended. Now, there's a valid reason for calling today. That reason is the security of the foundations, both the SCP Foundation and the JPCE. And recently, the security of the JPCU has been called into question. Recent light has been made, the SCP hunting down my team, myself included, and seeing as I am one of the High Council members, the second in seat, I take great ret. And I stare at into the dark part of the room, eyeing down each one of the council members,
Mm-hmm.
like staring daggers. As I watch them shift in their seats and fix themselves.
Yeah.
Now, you are in the presence of the JPCU High Council. Please do take mine and conduct yourselves appropriately. We will not take any threats lying down. Let the meeting commence.
And then somebody in some part of the room smacks a gavel. Don't know where they are, but a gavel gets smacked. And then I think when the gavel, clacks against the wooden pedestal, the camera abruptly cuts over, and we now see the lovely, the classic black tinted windows, black suburban, pull up to a suburban sidewalk, literally, and out from this vehicle steps our lovely other half of the investigating team, Dr. Boston Brook, ex Battlecock, and Kateo Bast.
I like that transition.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. I liked it too. And so we see this ragtag group of quote unquote investigators. I don't know if you could call them that quite yet, but they're employees. Um, and I think the camera turns around and we see this alleyway. So on the right of this alleyway is a laundromat. On the left is a pizza place. And in this alleyway, there's like the police tape, like crisscrossing in it to keep people out. There are some local authorities, some cops, still milling about, taking, a detective is in the scene, taking notes and asking other cops questions. And there's the forensics guys taking photos of everything and stuff like that. So yeah, what who are we gonna approach first? What are we gonna do?
All right. Well, I suppose it's time to do business. Where is this? Fucking, I don't know, the underground Fey place, wherever it was, whatever it was.
So I assume you asked that out loud, right?
Yes.
So, I guess you asked like, where's this weird, underground like Fey bar, and the detective in the crime scene, he perks up. He is an elf man, so he is, pretty keen senses. He perks up and he quick turns and he sees this absolute motley crew of individuals standing on the curb awkwardly, and he's like, you must be the out of towners, come to take over my crime scene. And he saunters over trying to put on the tough guy, but he's an elf, so he really can't put on a tough guy act. He looks like a feminine figure.
Elves aren't tough guys.
I mean, physically they're pretty
pick up-
tough, but
No, they're not. That's a lie.
physically
Pick
elves are
up-
imposing.
Battlecock, and I take a step closer to him. I'm like, yeah, that's what we're here to do.
So when you pick up Battlecock and you walk over, he kind of hesitates and stepping forward. He's like, chicken, okay, weird. And he's like, all right, well, as for the location of some, the infamous fairy speakeasy, we don't really know, but we do know that these here murders, and he jabs a thumb over his shoulder. And there are the three white tarps, put over the bodies. He's like, these three dead bodies, these John Does over here. They're definitely related. One of them had one of these in his pocket, and he pulls out an identical gold coin to the one that we have from Hellsing's personal collection. And he's like, he had one of these on his body, along with some of this, and he pulls out a baggie of little red, powdered, crystal, almost.
Well, I'm gonna look to Boston Brook, and I'm gonna ask him if he's seen this crystal substance before.
So you turn to him, and he's like, no, I've no idea what this is supposed to be. And he turns to the elf guy, and he's like, what do you reckon it is, detective? And he's like, I have no idea. He's like, it's magic, but I don't know what it's supposed to do. I would assume probably a drug, because it's a cocaine baggie,
Drugs.
so probably a narcotic.
Huh.
He's like, but I'm not going to be the one to test it. What do you take me for?
Well,
Wouldn't Boston Brook have something to test?
Well, he's not I mean, we because we're all magic users, we can all see that this. Well, okay, yeah. So I'll have Boston Brook make a separate intelligence check, since he would have more experience than a random detective.
I also forgot. Bright is there.
Oh, yeah,
Bright
Bright's
is at
in
the
the
meeting.
meeting, yeah.
Bright's in the meeting. Yeah.
Wow, Bostonbrook rolled really poorly. Okay, he still passes, however, barely. So Boston takes like the baggie of like crystal stuff, and he's like, "Well, I can certainly detect that there is some form of demonic energy radiating off of this stuff. So I believe that's enough evidence to have your men leave this crime scene to the professionals, right, detective?" And the elf is like, "Oh, all right, sure, I see how it is. Fine." And then he like whistles, and like all the local cops who are either elves or humans, they're all like, "All right, sure, fine, whatever." And they like duck under the police scene tape, and they walk back to their cars. And the detective's like, "All right, it's yours. Have fun, gentlemen, and chicken." And then he just like walks away. And yeah, Bossenbrook turns to the rest of our lovely team and is like, "Well, this is certainly an interesting predicament. I would suggest we investigate the crime scene." And he like tucks the bag of red crystals into his like trench coat pocket and ducks under the crime scene tape.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I don't know how much Kateo Bast would. No, probably not very much. When it comes to,
He's like a new baby boy coming into the door.
yeah, like he's a kraken, so he knows a lot about magic, but not a lot about like the individual people.
You can ask him about the composition
Yeah, I can help do
of
that.
that crystalline
Yeah.
structure.
So
You'd
yes,
probably know
Bossenbrook
that.
Well, actually, because X is the demon guy, so he would know about like what this could be from. So
Why
Bossenbrook,
is Lafferty small?
because she's like she's with you essentially. She's in the meeting. Well, not in the meeting,
Oh,
but
she is?
she's at the headquarters still.
Wait, why didn't she go with the team?
Because she has paperwork to do, and also wants to be there in case something goes horribly wrong and you need somebody to help fight. She's keeping
What?
an eye. She's keeping an eye on you just as much as
What?
we're keeping an eye on Bossenbrook today.
Excuse me.
So
And who's there to keep them in check? Boston Brook?
She sent people to watch Bossenbrook, and Bossenbrook is there to keep everybody. Bossenbrook is there to keep the Kraken and the demon and the magic chicken in check. And we have.
I'm not worried about the chicken. I'm worried about the demon and the kraken.
Look, the demon and the Kraken are fine. Okay, they're both mature adults. All right, they know how to handle themselves. I say.
That's rich.
Totally.
That's
lying to
rich if
my
I've
teeth.
ever heard anything.
Yeah, even though like.
Which I think I have.
Yeah, even though both the Kraken and the Warlock have both proven themselves to be incapable of conducting any kind of organization.
Of making adult-like decisions, yeah.
Yeah, but the chicken's fine. He knows what he's doing.
Chicken's fine. Yeah, he knows what's up.
Chicken
He already
is a
knows.
fake creature, so he knows what he's doing.
He already knows where the entrance is. Like,
He's just like, nah, he's just staying quiet.
He's been there, done that.
Yeah, he's bored right now. He's like, whatever, nerds.
Yeah. These nerds don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
These foreigners.
So, yeah, so I think Bossenbrook would hand the baggie of weird crystal drug over to X and Kateo Bass to, let them do whatever they want with that. And he's going to investigate the dead bodies for more evidence. That's more his forte. So, what specifically do you wish to find out about said weird demon drug? I think Kateo Bass probably would be more capable of like the chemical makeup or like the equivalent.
I mean, Honestly, the only thing I think I really need to know is what it does. I don't think he's going to be able to discern
Yeah, he couldn't
what
know that.
made it.
Okay, yeah. So give me an intelligence check to see if you can like, educated guess, assume what this stuff would do.
6.
6. That is enough. So you and Ktevast take. So okay. So how do you just take this drug to figure out what it does? Like, is that what you do?
I'm going to take the classic example from the school chemistry lab, and I'm going to waft.
Okay. So you pop open this little like Ziploc bag of a drug, and you like waft with your hand. Um, you can just like no, because you can see magic. You can see that there is some very powerful. Like, you don't know how Boston Brook missed it or how the cops missed it. They must just be inept. Um, but there's some very powerful enchantment magic on whatever this stuff is. Um, Very powerful demonic enchantment magic, which is like super super powerful. Um, and when you smell it, you instantly like the colors around you become like super super intensely bright and like really heightened, and your sense of feelings really heightened, and like you can like feel your own heartbeat, and you can feel like the air moving around and like touching your skin when you move your body and stuff, and it's really weird. And also a very slight like euphoric feeling, near like bordering on like sexual pleasure, but not quite. And you would know because you have experience in this field of magic, that this is very similar to what a succubus feels like what their magic feels like before they kill you, essentially.
Hmm.
Their weird pleasure magic. Bast, he got a 5. I believe he's a pretty smart boy.
Is it demon weed?
It's not like
It's demon weed.
It's not demon weed. It's demon like meth or like demon cocaine, essentially.
It's demon weed. The effects are like basically the same as smoking weed. I had to do a school project on this. I know.
I mean, yeah, it's like that mixed with like acid, essentially.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, basically
Yeah,
demon
so
weed.
Bast is a very smart boy. So so like I think after like you often kind of like, yes, I'm pretty sure I know what this could do. He takes it, and he probably like runs his fingers through it and looks it over. Uses his weird Kraken knowledge of like alchemy and stuff, and is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just like straight up just like solid magic. Like, somebody took magical energy and ran it through like sugar, and that's just like what this is.
Oh my god.
Like, it's literally just raw magic filtered into sugar.
It's sugar magic.
I mean, essentially, yeah.
Magic sugar.
Now, Boston Brook, how good is he gonna play policeman?
It's basically a pixie stick.
Yeah, a magic pixie stick, but not pixie magic. It's demon stick. So Boston Brook, he got pretty high. He's a smart boy. So he walks over under the police tape. He, tosses out over the tarps, and there are 3 corpses here, as previously mentioned. 2 of them are in like normal street clothes, like sweatshirts and jeans and sneakers. The third body is an elf, which is automatically suspicious because killing an elf is pretty tough. But it's an elf dude in a black suit, black tie, really nice slacks and shoes. Boston Brook figures out pretty easily that the 2 normal-looking people died via gunshot, and how the elf died. You can't. Well, there's no like visible markings. The elf has a gun on him, and and one of the street hoodlums, he also has a gun, a pistol, and the other one has like a switchblade, is it like a dagger? Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Did you just say switch dagger?
Well, it's a switchblade, yeah, but it's like a small knife. And the other one has like a normal gun, and the dead elf, he has a gun too. And Boss Bucky finds this information, and he's like, "Well, this is unusual. It usually takes more than, two random human beings to take out an elf. They're not known for being like squishy." He's like, "But he doesn't appear to have been killed by either of these lovely gentlemen." And he like sifts through the guy's pockets and stuff, and finds the gun and stuff, and puts everything aside. Yeah, I think Boston Brook, he's gonna make another check to detect some magic on these dead boys. Wow. Also got an 8. Great. Okay. So he's rummaging through these pockets, and he kind of like adjusts his glasses and kind of blinks a couple of times, looks over the bodies again, and he's like, well, this is interesting. And he's like, "I suggest you gentlemen take a look at these bodies." He like ushers the rest of you over. And Ctavast and everybody else, they walk over, and of course discovered that the lips of the 2 dead street gentlemen, the normal individuals, are covered in like the same like excess kind of like leftover magic that is found on the red crystalline structures. But the elf, there is a very powerful magic, essentially like death magic, like soul magic, and it is like coating like a layer of smog over this elf's body. So somebody cast a really, really powerful like death magic spell on this dude, and just straight up like insta killed him.
All right.
Also, Boston Brook reaches into the dead dude's pockets. He finds another bag of the crimson crystal powder. He finds a wad of cash. And he also finds a note, a folded up letter that reads as follows. So I'll read it in Boston Brook's voice. All right, this letter reads, "To J. This little map of the area is where the other distributors are going to be every night for the next week. Use it to collect their earnings every morning just before sunrise." And then below it is like a printed, like Google Maps screenshot of a couple block radius of the city with little like red dots on like a street corner every couple of blocks essentially. And there's like, 5 or 6 of them dotted around this part of the city. And then there's also like one dot that says like "you are here," and it's the alleyway with the 2 buildings next to it and stuff like that. Must look like he folds the letter back up and he tucks it into his like satchel, and he's like, "Looks as if we have our next clue, gentlemen. We might want to give these other distributors a little visit to find out where we might be going."
Indeed. Well, I suppose we should get on the move, if that's the case.
Agreed. And Boston he points his finger off from there. It's like, "Tally-ho, gentlemen!" And he just starts like walking off down the street. And with that, we cut back to the JPCU headquarters, with BH and the O5 Council awkwardly staring at each other across a table. It's probably been dead quiet
Yeah.
for the past like couple of minutes, as everybody's just been kind of taking in the situation.
Now I know you're all curious as to how this information could have possibly been procured. Let's just say that I had a contact that the SCP Foundation did not account
I'm gonna
that was
make
able
a
to get me.
I'm gonna make a thing for Bright real quick to see if he does a thing or not. Okay, he doesn't. He's smart.
I have an informant has given me some information the SCP Foundation cannot account for. He has given me these files. They are the files that the SCP Foundation holds on me and my team. I am under the assumption that we have been under close surveillance by the SCP Foundation, and high scrutiny has been used against us. I cannot help but feel as though they take us for the fools. I think we'll just lie down, wash over us. That is what this meeting is for. O5 Council, state your case.
Let's see who would stand up first. We can start with okay. So think like the dark half of the room. The only real lights are like these like glowing LED like plaques with like 05-1, 05-2, all the way down to 05 dash probably like 13 in this case. He would be there.
Yes.
And all the voices aren't perfectly like identical. They do have like slight tone differences and like intonation stuff like that and like speech patterns, but they're all heavily augmented and like robotic and distorted. And the first one, somebody's like, "Well, we here at the O5 Council believe it is in our best interests to listen to your case, Dr. Hellsing. It is also unfortunate to know that there's a traitor amongst our ranks willing to hand over secretive information that should not be in the hands of anybody outside of our organization. However, that is a issue for another time. In any case, we believe that some members of your team, particularly Dr. Nathaniel Bostenbrook, poses a significant threat to the masquerade of our foundation. His presence in your company, while a bit more calming insurance in his secrecy than was years ago, back when he was just a random dude running around the world killing monsters, is still a threat to their organization and its secrecy that it tries very, very hard to maintain. We assure you,
Your concern, Dr. Boston, is misplaced. We have given Dr. Bostenbrook Class A amnestics, wiped his memory of the SCP Foundation, and left him memory of fond days with his family. Placed that with a memory of them dying in a car crash. He knows nothing of you, other than that you exist. That is all he knows. He does not know anything of the O5 Council. He does not know anything of the secrets of the SCP Foundation. Purely that you exist. He holds no grudge against you. And I can assure you that. The High Council of JPCU, well, I should say the Crimson Council, has taken much care into neutralizing the harmful memories of Dr. Nathaniel Boston.
well, your claim has yet to be proven in the eyes of the O5 Council. We've not had an interview with Dr. Bostenbrook yet. However, we did read that email where you sent saying that you gave him amnestics. Yes, that email has been, mulled over. And while the council does take into consideration the possibility that you did in fact give him Class A amnestics, we still feel that given his knowledge of the organization, it is still likely that he has already given out far more information than we would allow. Likely to members of the JPCU, and if not, even worse, to some random idiot in a bar somewhere because he got too drunk on vacation.
Now, the security of your foundation. We can assure you that proper protocol has been followed to the T. When it comes to secrecy, it is paramount. We keep the secrecy of our organization, as well as other organizations worldwide, uncompromised. And as far as I'm concerned, we've picked up the slack where you've lacked. When there are targets that have not been amnesticized properly, we've stepped in, covered you. When protocol has not been followed properly by the SCP Foundation, we've stepped in and picked up where you lack. So now tell me, why would you take the risk of putting a target on the back of one of the Crimson Council members, as well as a handler, one of our employees, and one of our top researchers? Can you answer to that, O5 Council? Can you answer me why you would go to the trouble of painting targets on the people that have so soullessly protected your organization? Risking the lives of innocents to keep the secrecy of your organization uncompromised. Can you answer that?
We assure you, Dr. Hellsing, that the measures taken by the SCP Foundation and our present O5 Council have only been at the utmost level of secrecy and necessity to facilitate the continued operation of both of our foundations as smooth as possible. The targets on the backs of all of your heads was a recent decision voted not by myself, but by other members of this council. And he kind of like, you can't really like see him, but you can feel that he's like staring at his companions down the rest of the table. And he's like, I do apologize for any inconvenience that this might have caused you or your employees. However, it has been necessary steps as insurance to ensure that our organization can maintain efficiency.
Which O5 is this?
This is 01.
So it's basically Jesus Lady.
No, this is the founder.
Oh, the administrator?
Yeah, well, not telling the administrator. The founder is somewhat different. This could be, so you really can't tell. This could either be, like the name tag says 01, but you don't know if this is like the founder or like Eve from like Adam and Eve. It could be either one of them. You don't know.
01.
Yeah.
Listen to me very carefully. Your apologies mean nothing to me as of right now. I have not come here for your apology. I've come here to secure the security of my foundation. You are on the doorstep of war with a foundation that will crush you. I do not come here for your sympathy. I did not call this meeting for your sympathy or your apology. I know the action that was taken against us. I've read the files in great detail. I can recite them almost word. The fact that you dare paint the targets on my team's back is deplorable at best. The fact that you will so willingly compromise the security of my team and my foundation is an insult and a slap in the face, and I will not take it lying down. The status of your agent that has compromised your secrets is of no concern. The concern should be on what you are going to do about this. Because if you kill me, if you kill anyone on my team, you will have a hammer brought down upon you that not even your MTFs can stop. As far as I know, we have a large amount of Thaumeo class, as you would call them, anomalies that can eradicate you. And with so many of your contained assets unwilling to help, and some of them even being as far as sentient cognito hazards, to you and your Foundation, if you were to let any of them escape containment, they'd be more of a threat to you than to us. We've had considerably less casualties than the SCP Foundation. We've had less of our task force die than the SCP Foundation. As far as I know, you are hurting for men. So what state do you believe yourselves to be in to take us out? You are on the door of war, O5. So what status do you believe yourselves to be in to threaten us? I leave this to the lead member of the Crimson Council to state our claim.
Okay. So when you direct your, the podium, if you will, the microphone, to number one of the board, aka like the CEO essentially of the JPCU, the camera like quick pans, over down the table, over probably to the head of the table in this case because he's like the leader of the conference essentially.
I'd be sitting like right next to him, right?
Yeah. You're like there's like him at the head, you are to his right, and then 05-1 is to his left. So
ooh, spicy.
Yeah. So lit up by a very narrow cone of bright light, we see an old man. Looks to be similar to like Boston Brooks' age. He's got a decent sized beard of gray gray white hair, full head of gray white hair. His face looks tired, worn out. Also probably pretty bored, considering that this is pretty routine for him anyway.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, yes, thank you, Dr. Hellsing. I appreciate your consideration. We at the JPCU have but one simple claim, O5. Destroy all evidence of our team, and of course, cease all activities in surveilling them, which is very illegal, by the way, and that is a different discussion, but stop the surveillance, stop hunting them down, destroy all currently held evidence, and no such thing as a broken masquerade will happen to you." And then there's like some indistinct murmuring chatters on the other side of the table, with like the O5s talking amongst themselves, and you really can't make it out because it's all like weird and disordered and stuff like that. And I think, let's see, what number is it? I think it's 05-4.
Okay.
Who is, you don't really know. It's either the ambassador or like the veteran. So, that like plaque lights up when he starts speaking, and he's like, "Now then, Crimson Council, we do not want a broken masquerade. I think neither of us want something as drastic as that. And while we recognize that the Foundation may have overstepped its boundaries in going as far as surveilling members of your corporation. We do not think that it requires such drastic measures.
So, as he says that, I'm gonna open up my own folder and read aloud some of the excerpts. And that would be possibly immortal. Or well, confirmed as immortal. Targeted for termination immediately. Or effective immediately. Now, I know that the O5 Council did not just stumble on this information, which means you have planted agents inside of our agency. And instead of just coming to us and asking us for information, working with us, you would so devilishly go behind our backs and acquire information. Our agents, researchers, and investigators. That is unacceptable. You have compromised our security while trying to maintain your own. I fear that if I continue to debate this with you, I will get severely angered. And I may do something that I might regret. So to keep that from happening, I will allow the rest of the Crimson Council to state their claims as to what they think. But as far as I am concerned, it is unacceptable.
Yeah, so the other members of the Crimson Council, they mumble back and forth for a few minutes, and the O5s, they mumble back and forth for a few minutes. Then I think the O5, of course, O5-1 speaks for the rest of them. So his name tag lights up again. And he's like, the O5 Council requests a separate private conference room to discuss how we shall formulate the terms of the agreement and make our vote in privacy.
I'm going to call the rest of the Crimson Council in for a huddle.
So you all mumble back and forth. Yeah, sure.
My position is nay. They don't deserve the right.
And then, let's see, who wouldn't suggest this as possible play? Yeah, I think one of the other members of the council turns over and is like, I vote we give them a separate conference room, but we bug it.
Good suggestion. But still, I could just give them this one. Resort.
I think the CEO, the big head honcho himself, is like, I believe it might be best that we give them this conference room. We still want to come off as being those of the higher moral ground, and if we disrespect them by rejecting this offer or, spying on them like they do to us, we'll lose that upper hand in terms of the moral argument. So I believe it would be best to acquiesce in this sense. Give them the time they need to negotiate amongst themselves, argue back and forth.
Very.
And then I
I
think
concede my vote.
as the vote goes off, people generally agree with the CEO. They have no reason to not agree with him, of course, seeing as he's their boss.
By this, with this decision, GVH is visibly a little bit anxious about it because this also gives them the opportunity to plant bugs.
Well, it's in a different conference room, so even if they were to plant bugs, they would only be able to hear themselves. And of course, there will be like tests done on the room after they leave to resecure the room.
The
So,
Crimson Council accepts your request.
and 05 1 is like much appreciated. And then you can't see them. You hear their like chairs shuffling and the feet shuffling as they all leave out a separate door into a different conference room. And as that happens, the camera once again changes perspective, and we see the lovely rest of the team, the B team, the B squad. And so
B-team.
how have we been? Okay, well,
Killing time.
yeah, because I'll say this. So we have to wait until nighttime for these dealers to show back up at their like locations, essentially. So how are we how are we passing the time until night, like surveilling this corner of the street in the city? Because I reckon, I don't know, Osterberg probably would like be like hyper like anxious because he isn't used to sitting still and like waiting for things to happen. He's just like, I want to do something. Let's do something. And we're like, no, gotta wait here.
I mean, more than likely.
So, do we have any other leads for this, or is it just this?
We have like multiple locations, but they're not gonna get here until night. I will say that like it will take until like nighttime for the O5 Council to decide. So this is also like that waiting period essentially.
Okay.
Hmm.
And ask the shops, but I'm not here.
So like, are
I
we,
mean,
are we going full stakeout with like in a car, like slouched down, waiting for these guys to show up, or are we like in a building, or are we, walking around?
well, how long is it till nightfall?
Probably like only an hour or two.
Only an hour or two? I'd say we can use that time to scope out a hiding place.
Alrighty, and which of us would be chosen to do that?
I would say Battlecock.
I knew it. Okay, yeah, sure. So roll an intelligence check for Battlecock to see, how good a spot he can find.
That's going to be a 7.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Battlecock is good at scouting. So you're just like, go find us a hidey hole, and he, I think, then you like put him on the ground, and then he immediately just like waddles over to like a big like tree, and like probably with a single leap jumps to the top of the tree, and like lays a chicken, like lays down, puts his legs in his body, and just like plops down on a branch, and
It's just here.
yeah, he's like, yes, I will remain vigilant, brothers, and he just chillaxes.
I will remain vigilant, brothers.
Yeah, so he probably plops down there, and then like he probably like gestures over to like some like a park, probably some benches, bushes, stuff like that. for like probably like across the street.
Probably.
Yeah, across the street from one of the corners where these dealers are said to sell their stuff in the nighttime.
Now, are you guys gonna get like junk and stuff and like wait it out with like binoculars?
I think Boston Rick has the binoculars. Kateo Bast, I don't even think he needs to eat, or if he does, like,
But would
he'll eat ridiculous
but would
amount.
he want to experience
Yeah,
humans?
yeah, he would be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go and like use my very first human dollar to go and buy some like Lay's potato chips or whatever.
Or
Uh,
some like McBees,
yeah.
McDonald?
Mm-hmm. And so he goes and he buys his junk food. Um, yeah, wow, it
What does
is
X do?
yeah. I wonder how conspicuous he's being. Probably like, I don't know, for
He's probably like
fireworks.
diving through bushes, camouflaging himself.
He's like combat roll and is like rolling across the street in like broad daylight. It's like I'm being stealthy and it's like barrel rolling across the road. Cars are honking at him and
Through
stuff to
bushes,
move.
covering himself in mud.
He's like in the middle of like the sidewalk, covered in mud, prone, lying there. He's like, I am peak stealth. So yeah, so however it is, we decide to pass these hours. These hours do go by, and eventually we see another elf dressed in a similar, suit and tie, walk out from something we see. There's like the sidewalk, and then near where the spot that he's supposed to be standing at, there is another alleyway similar to the one that the other previous crime scene was in. And there's a bright glow appears out of this alleyway, and a second later, this fancily dressed elf saunters onto the sidewalk, and he like leans against the brick wall of whatever tchotchke shop is on this corner, and he's
Yeah.
just like standing there chilling now, probably smoking a cigarette, and some people come and go buying more of this weird red crystal stuff, and they all look really disheveled and like the like yeah, they look like junkies essentially. Look
They look
like
homeless.
yeah, pretty much. They're
Huh.
really disheveled, really like anxious, paranoid, like darting their heads around, really like quick, like jerky movements, and they walk up and they like toss money at the elf essentially. Let's like chuck bills at him, and then he gives them like the baggie, and then they run away. Some of them didn't even like stop to like run. They just like get the bag and immediately just like shove their face into it, and then probably collapse onto the ground, and then the elf like drags them into like a nearby bush or something and just like leaves them there because he's not paid to worry about what
Uh,
happens.
nice. But I have a question, Dakota.
Sure.
How far is the reach on my gun?
On your gun?
Shoot
Um,
him?
We can cause weird effect with it, which is the fun part.
Not all of them are damage.
Yeah, all of them are damage based. I believe the ranges are. I think for like short range is like. I found this up before. I forget where I wrote it down, but it's somewhere. Let me find it. You could hit him from here. It's like only like across the street away, so you can for sure hit him if you wanted to use something. So which effect do you want to use?
I was going to attempt to stun him.
Okay, that would be the face of Satan.
Wow.
That's what it's called. Okay, yeah. So make me the perception check then for that.
Alrighty. A 9.
Nice. So you I think we see like the elf. He like drags this unconscious junkie into a bush, and then from that same bush, the little barrel of a revolver pokes out as the elf turns away, and then just this little beam of red light smacks this elf in the face, and he's just like, oh, and like freaks out. I believe that's one
So
d six
instead of
turns,
just
right? That he's stunned.
like asking him, you shot him in the face.
Yeah.
4.
4. Okay. So you've got like 20 seconds at this guy, or like
All right, let's
yeah.
refresh him. Sure, Boston Brook with his big meaty sword in hand self can do a tackle or something.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, this guy like can't really defend, but I'll make an agility check to see if Boston Brook can tackle this guy. Yeah, he can tackle this guy. So you like zap this dude in the cranium with this beam of light, and I think the elf is like stops dead in his tracks and is like, "Oh, that's a weird feeling," and then just like he like gets like shoved off camera, like off of the view as like Boston Brook's like "Tally ho!" and just like shoves this dude to the ground
Jeez.
and like knocks him straight prone, tackles him to the floor. Yeah, so this dude is grappled and blind currently. so,
Start asking him questions.
yeah. So, what is X gonna ask him first? I guess since you're the one who activated this plan.
Honestly forgot, I'm just gonna... Well, actually, do we know the name of that guy who, like, died?
You know that his initial was J.
Just Jay.
Just J.
Jay.
So that the letter said
Huh.
J anyway.
That's kind of, insubstantial.
Yeah.
I looked at Boston Brook. I have no clue what to do if I don't know this dude's name. I mean, like...
Okay.
Who do you work for? What are you selling?
like-
what do I do with this coin? Like,
Yeah. Where's your boss? Where does this stuff get made? Any number of these questions.
Okay.
Also, the not
I'm just going
giving
to
him-
ask all of them at the same time and give him no time to answer.
Yeah. Okay. So you ask all these questions at the same time, and the elf, who is still blind, is like,
I smack him and I say, "Answer faster, goddammit!"
Yeah. so you slap him across the face, and this guy's like, repeat the question.
yes.
All the questions. Square root of 37.
Yeah.
Go. Yes, I think like he's like, repeat the question. And Boston Brook is like, who do you work for? And the elf is like, I don't know who I work for. I never meet them. I just get told to go into an alleyway, and like a door appears on the wall, and I get given these like this bag of stuff, and I go to a different place, and then I like sell the different stuff, and then at the end of the night, I give the bag of stuff to this other dude, and then I get some of the money. Yeah, that's
Okay.
That is also pretty insubstantial.
Yes, yes, it's insubstantial. Yes.
All right. Well, I assume
Where do I use this
Then-
coin?
the next step is to just find the guy who it gets handed off to at the end of the night. But yeah, I'm also going to ask what the dumb coin is for.
Dumb,
Okay. See,
dumb
I
coin. Dumb coin.
I specifically call it a dumb coin.
Meanwhile, in the dark conference room of the headquarters, Hellsing cringes for unknown reasons.
Yeah, basically.
So he's like, what's the dumb coin for? And he's like, the dumb coin. He's like, oh, that lets you into like this weird club where I hand off the money and get the more drugs, essentially.
Ah,
I'm
I
thinking
see.
it always appears in like an alleyway with like a weird magic door that pops up, um, and it's always like one of like a couple dozen different places this door appears. Like I've repeated places a couple times, so like yeah,
Is there any pattern to it, or is it just?
like I mean yesterday and today I both like got put out at this alleyway, and he nods his head into the dark, dingy, moist alleyway that like we saw him walk out of essentially.
Hmm. All right. Well, I guess that's a lead.
And my
There you
boss
go.
just like looks to you and is like, "Do we kill him now? What do we do here? What?"
No, don't kill him.
I don't know. You feeling frisky?
Don't kill him.
Let's see. Is Boston Rook feeling frisky? Um, he's like, well, we could like knock him unconscious, or you could turn him into a babbling midget or something. I don't know, whatever.
Oh, that'd be pretty funny.
Oh no.
A cruel twist of fate.
Okay, so you wanna? You
Why
wanna?
not?
Sure. All right. Um.
Oh no.
Well, this is even acquire a check. I forget. Let's see. What is this? Deformation
Well,
spell.
He's stunned, grappled, and knocked prone. I don't think it should require a check.
Yeah. Okay. So I think. So how do you prepare this spell for like 5-6 seconds or whatever?
Uh, Basically, I'm going to reach into my deep well of infernal magics, and I'm going to pull out a template. Like a magical template, and I'm going to impose it upon him in the only way I know how.
By beating him over the head with it.
Sure.
Okay.
Why
So-
not?
So you like move your hands around, and this like weird glowing rune appears in like flaming, sparking demon energy, and you just like grab this weird like square shaped magic barrier, and it's like clunk him over the head with it a couple times until it shatters, and when it shatters, he like begins like steaming, like smoking, and gets gradually smaller and smaller and smaller until eventually he's like 2-3 feet tall and is an insane babbling midget, gnome man, and he just like and like runs away down the street, confused and scared.
A job well done.
He's like, yes, that was excellent detective work, gentlemen. And then he just like, in the alleyway we go then. And then-
This hurts. It would have been so much easier with TV. Got doorways, just give him a coin. We're all in now.
So yeah, so Boston like, all right, to the alleyway, and we walk into the alleyway, and then you need to make a check for this. On the wall of this alleyway, carved in the brick, is like a gigantic rowan tree piece of graffiti.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Are you gonna look at the coin?
Well, yeah, they match up,
Well-
of course.
I kind of figured.
Yeah. And we've all got good memories here. We can all remember the fact that there's also a rowan tree on the coin. Yeah.
Well, there's your smoking gun.
Magic doors.
So yeah, let's. I pull out the coin, and I put it up to the wall. I guess.
Okay, make an intelligence check.
5.
5. Okay. So you take out your coin and you put it up to the wall. And at first nothing happens, so you like rub it against the wall a couple times. And then like nothing happens. And then you kind of like use your magical senses and find that there is the residue of like pretty powerful like conjuration magic, like teleportation magic, aka dimension door. So, um, yeah, this like residual magic's all over this wall, and I think like you're like, okay, and with a 5, you kind of like take it into consideration, and you kind of like, touch the coin to the wall again, and kind of like shoot some magical energy at the wall and the coin and stuff, and like the pixie dust on the coin like disperses over the wall in a glittery, shimmering, Disney princess style display of lovely glitter and dust. And when the glitter settles, there is a huge iron door with like one of those like eye level like slats in it, and it's just like in the wall now, where the Rowan tree graffiti was previously.
Interesting.
And as Boston looks like, well, I suppose we've found where we need to go. And then he just like knocks on the door really hard. And then with the slam of his hand, we abruptly once again cut back to the headquarters and another smash cut. And where we see the O5 Council shuffling back into the conference room with the rest of our lovely, Crimson Council. And they'll take their seats again. And, this time, of course, there is a new cone of light in the room. There is one at the very center of the table. There's a narrow, cone of light on this metal tabletop. And when the O5 Council, they get settled again, a packet of paper gets slid into this light, and on the top of it, in big, bolded letters, says "Containment Accord."
I'm gonna take it.
All right, so you pick it up, and as you pick it up, 051 is like, this is the agreement that we present so far. We believe that, it conveys our apologies for any inconvenience and breach of privacy, and should be more than sufficient in making up for the transgressions. So, read over the points, and we'll all sign it and stuff, and it'll be fine.
As clearly stated before, we're not looking for apology.
Like, well, the
Rectification
reparations
and subsequent reimbursement for the troubles that we have gone.
Like, yes, we have taken this into consideration, and the points of the document reflect our preference to agree to your terms.
So I'm going to open it up and read it.
Sure. There are a total of 9 points, followed by a short preamble, so I can just read that out. The signatories of this document hereby swear to uphold the following facets under penalty of permanent and total annihilation on the physical, spiritual, and metaphysical level. 1. All information on Dr. Jason Van Helsing, Zhu Zhojin, Battlecock, and Dr. Nathaniel Bostonbrook is to be destroyed. 2. All information related to said information is to be destroyed, aka all evidence of this meeting, essentially. 3. The masquerade is to be upheld. Number 4. The employment and positions of all previously named individuals is to remain untouched by all signing groups. Number 5. All hostilities between the signing groups of this document prior to the signing of this document are to be forgiven by all signatories. 6. All present and future hostilities between the signing groups, including blackmail and threat of a broken masquerade, are to cease entirely and immediately. 7. All knowledge obtained over the course of the preceding negotiations pertaining to the O5 Council is to be erased from the memory of all members of the Board of Directors of JPCU, except for the memories of Jason Van Helsing, by the administering of amnestics. Number 8. all knowledge obtained over the course of the preceding negotiations pertaining to the board of directors of JPCU, except for Jason Van Helsing, is to be erased from the memories of all members of the O5 Council by the administering of amnestics. 9. All signing groups are to recognize their mutual mission in protecting the safety and health of mankind against anomalous individuals, groups, objects, animals, entities, and etc. that threaten it and its allies.
Directives. The members of the Crimson Council. Our memories of this meeting paramount. And without the agreement saying the O5 Council will also be erasing the memories of this meeting and the JPCU Crimson Council.
Except from your memory, you'll maintain knowledge of its existence.
I push the vote for the Crimson Council to keep the memory of this meeting. I think this is a good example of what possibly could happen when boundaries are crossed. And if boundaries are crossed again, I don't want to be a lone psychopath standing on a board of directors pushing for when the council that I am aligned with does not remember a previous encounter where this happened. We show our faces to you because we trust you.
Okay, so I think, yeah, the O5, if they basically they say like, if they can maintain the memories, then and you maintain the memories, then that's they'll let that be a thing.
I would agree to this, but without a statement saying the O5 Council will not erase their own memories of this meeting, then I cannot allow it. Because then that gives you leverage.
They agree. They edit the packet, the document, saying that like they won't like alter their own memories, and that you guys won't also alter your own as well.
As for the assets known as X, Nathaniel Boston Brook, Battlecock, Head Agent McLafferty, and Senior Researcher Dr. Jack Bright, who I know is present today.
Hello.
Right. We must maintain safety of all Foundation individuals. I like to think so. Dr. Nathaniel Brossenbrook, his memory is scheduled to be looked through on a bi-monthly basis. If his memories are shown to show anything of the O5 Council, any protocols to the SCP Foundation, or any hatred towards you, we assure you they have been wiped. Dr. Nathaniel Bostonbrook is of no concern. Is this clear?
Yes, I think 051 is like, given the light of recent agreements and the signing of the containment accords, we will take it as a sign of trust and our newfound alliance as fellow organizations to protect humanity, and take you on your word.
I'm a firm believer in the one hand washes the other belief. You scratch our back, we scratch yours. Any assets that you cannot properly contain, we help you with. Anything that we cannot properly handle, we ask you for help. Recently, you've helped us in multiple ways. This is coming to a lot of what we've discussed as the Crimson Council has deliberated over the past couple of hours. And we agree that a armistice is an accord. But be certain, O5s, that if we are undermined and double-crossed again, it will spell out the end of your agency. We hold ourselves to a high regard, and we do not accept double-crossings, betrayals, and most certain sketchy behavior that goes on in the background while we are conducting our jobs. You have not, nor have you ever been, under the threat of a broken raid. And I hope you realize that as two independent organizations that look to secure a better future for the world and keep the people from knowing knowledge that could very well destroy them. Well, I like to think that we can be civil. We share our research, you share your asset research, and we get along just fine. Cognito hazards, sentient visual, all of that is secured within both of our Foundation's walls to keep the public safe. These inter-company squabbles only waste the time of researchers and head councilmen all the same. It is pointless to argue with another corporation that is trying to keep the peace. Your village idiots, as you've are an example of this. They go into densely populated areas and they administer amnesty. Now, we have enlisted the aid of that MTF unit. Passed. They've done a great service to the JPC. I believe with your MTFs, we stand in a high regard. We need other stones that may have been left unchecked. Your MTFs come in handy. It would be fruitless for us to start with you, but if necessary, it would happen. With another foundation that aids us in such a way, it would be regrettable to wipe you off the face of the earth, at best. But a necessary step to keep the security of our agency uncompromised. Glad that it did not come to a, so to speak.
And then, 05-1, it's like agreed. Violence between our two groups, although it has happened in the past, has only harmed both of us and endangered the safety of mankind. I believe we can all breathe easy now that hostilities are over.
I'm gonna let the Crimson Council, starting at the back, I'm gonna let them take their decisions on this as I pass the paper down the line.
Yeah, so I think with all the edits and stuff that have been made over the past deliberations, they all sign off on the containment accords and stuff, and of course, the CEO of JPCU, number one on the board of directors, he signs the GPCU onto the accords, and the O5 Council takes it and similarly signs. And
I like to think that our two head operations here, two sides of the same.
It's like, yes, we all have the same goal, albeit different
Indeed.
methods.
JVH is going to take out a small pen that is a fountain pen.
Hmm.
Well, I should say a fountain feather pen, but it is very intricate in nature. Screw off the cap, dip it into the ink, sign his name in very prolific cursive.
You look at John Hancock it up, and it's like cover the
Yes.
whole page. In
I mean, in a way, there's like a big blank bottom area, and
yeah, and it's like this is my spot.
Jason Van Helsing, in almost a gothic type of cursive
Hmm.
with like the extra lines and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a very neat calligraphy.
So with the finished signing of the containment accords, the O5 Council thanks the board of directors for their time, and once again apologizes for the inconvenience. And then they shuffle out through one door, and the board of directors shuffles out through the door behind you. And,
I'm going to turn to the director because I'm certain that I'm walking next.
Yeah, you guys would be
And
together.
I'm gonna turn to him. And, do you think they're in a bargain?
So, the director himself, big CEO, head honcho. He's probably like just as tall, if not taller than like JVH, despite being like a really old man. Um, and I think he walks with a cane, but he does not need a cane.
Just to be more sophisticated.
Yeah, like Kateo Bash, like he has a cane, but he doesn't really need it. They share style. So he stops in like the middle of this like super high security hallway with like gun turrets on the walls and stuff like that. And he's like, well, I believe that just as we've lied about Boston Brooks' mental acuity, I think that they'll try to hold up their end of the bargain, although I fear that some aspects of the agreement may be out of their control. There are some circumstances surrounding Boston Brooks' attempted termination that the Foundation no longer has control over.
Agreed.
They mean well. The fools. And he just like hobbles away.
So in the middle of this hallway, GVH is just gonna take like a deep sigh, like follow behind the director. This would probably follow suit with a board of directors meeting,
Mm-hmm.
assumably.
Yeah.
Just to debate the status of the JPCU.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna make my way to the secondary meeting room that the board of directors will meet in.
Okay. Yeah. So you do that. Now actually I believe is about the perfect time to call today's session. So next
very
time we will see GVH return to active duty as our lovely compatriots prepare to enter this weird magic fairy club.
Indeed. X, anything to add? Okay. Well, anyway.
Silence is golden, you know? And I really gotta take a piss.
So good timing then. Lovely.
Good timing. Perfect timing. Well, this calls a close to this week's episode. If you guys enjoyed it, as always, leave a like, comment, let us know what you think. If you like what we do here, subscribe. If you want to see these episodes live, please tune in to mixer.com/xxx market XX to see these wonderful, wonderful games live and get it first. And let us know what you guys think of it. As for my co-compatriots X and Kodian, we will see you in the next episode. We hope you've enjoyed, and have a good one.